All right. Welcome back to the channel. This is your frustrated host. Flywheel's back with another affordable group break. December 12th, 2025. We are winding down the 2025 break season. Have one more week after tonight before I call it put a wraps on it for the year. 2 boxes tonight. 1994 Bowman and 1995 Score Summit. So we'll go ahead and get started since I'm already running behind. We'll start with the Bowman, finish with the Summit. $24 packs of the Bowman. Not the best rookie class, but not the worst. This was my first introduction to Bowman, so I had to fight the temptation to keep this box for myself. I don't remember how many cards are in each pack, though, but we shall see. What? This is weird. Now, you just saw it's a factory wrap. And on the box, it says, "Buy our cards, I need a job." I have no earthly idea how that got in there. I don't know if this is some kind of joke that I'm not aware of, or I don't know. Please, if you know what that's about, let me know, because I'm legit serious. I have no idea. Hey, good evening, Johnny. Here is our stained box. Our 2 stacks of cards. There may be some slight bricking. That's the only thing I worry about. But I don't know. Now that I kind of flex the pack, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not. 12 cards per pack. Okay, so there we go. 24 packs, 12 packs. Gold foil. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. There's a silver, I believe it's a silver foil, which is part of a subset. Don't think they got around to parallels quite yet. Good old loud, crinkly packs. And oh, yeah, cards are moving fine between my fingers. So we're good. I don't think we'll have to worry about that too much. And as far as the video that I did of the randomization, guys, I do apologize. I've been out of town all week and got in late last night, and then I had to run back out this morning. So it's been a crazy week. So I apologize. I did not have time to get the video earlier of the randomization, and then I forgot. My stupid internet takes forever to upload any kind of video. So it will post maybe twice later tonight. But what I did is if you go back to the original post, I did edit it and add the team that you were randomly. So Johnny, you have the Royals in this break, and you also ended up with the Angels. So just go back to that original post on the Facebook group, and you'll see the second team that you were given. So I do apologize for that. Like I said. It's ended up being a much busier week than I anticipated. So, but here we go. So we got John Wetland for the Expos to kick us off. If you're not familiar, there's your card back. Dave Stanton for the Padres. Pat Henkin for the Jays. Nice photo of Ricky Anderson there. For the and then we got Sean Bregman for the Tigers. Brian Jordan for the Cardinals. Brian Anderson, Angels. Mark Thompson, Rockies. Here's one of the foil cards. And these would look better if this diamond and the bats that are etched into the foil was centered. But Jeff Conine. Paul was it Bacco or Bacco for the Reds. Harold Baines for the Orioles. Scott Spezio for the Athletics. Next up, Chuck Knobloch, Twins. Terry Steinbach for the Athletics. John Mabry, Cardinals. Felix Jose, Royals. Chris Roberts for the Mets. Brian Harper, Brewers. Darrell Hamilton, Brewers. Matt Masecki, Brewers. We have a foil John Burks for the Rockies. Todd Ritchie, Twins. Pat Lestache, Brewers. And a checklist. So that was like a Brewers hot pack. Evening, Jared. John Smoltz, Braves. Bobby Witt, Athletics. Rondell White for the Expos. We got Lenny Dykstra for Philly. We got Ray Langford for the Cardinals. Scott Talanoa for the Brewers. Darren Oliver, Rangers. Mike Bush for the Dodgers. Foil Rich Becker for the Twins. Jeffrey McNeely for the Red Sox. Wally Joyner for the Royals. And Javier De La Hoya for the Marlins. We're going to bring the camera down just a smidge. All right, we got Mike McFarland for the Royals. David Cohn for the Royals. We have Aaron Holbert, the Cardinals. And we got a Frank Thomas for the White Sox. Curtis Goodwin, Orioles. Greg Swindell, Astros. Julio Bruno for the Padres. Barry Bonds for the Giants. Our foil is a Alex Ochoa for the Orioles. Dante Bichette, Rockies. Melvin Nieves, Padres. And James Hurst, Texas. Hal Morris for the Reds. Chad Curtis, Angels. Eddie Murray for the Twins. For the Indians, sorry. Derry DeSarcina, Angels. Rob Fitzpatrick for the Expos. Kenny Felder for the Brewers. Richie Moody, Rangers. Justin Thompson, Tigers. Foil is Benji Gill for Rangers. Omar Vizquel, Indians. Charles Peterson for the Pirates, and a Kelly Stinnett for the Mets. Kevin Mitchell, Reds. Chuck Finley, Angels. Got Lance Johnson for White Sox, I believe. Ed Sprague, Jays. Kevin Ory, Cubs. Felix Martinez for the Royals. We have a Danny Maselli for the Pirates. Greg Zahn, Orioles. Our foil is a James Mouton for the Astros, followed by Julian Tavares, Indians. Roger Sawkill, Mariners, and a Blaze Isley for the Cubs. Everybody ready for Christmas? You got all your Christmas shopping done? Another Chuck Finley. Steve Avery for the Braves. Greg Olson, Braves. Rick Wilkins, Cubs. Scott Talanoa, Brewers. Joe Rosselli for the Giants. Tom Candiotti for the Dodgers. Jimmy Key for the Yankees. Mike Bell foil for the Rangers. Greg Maddux, Braves. Danny Batista, Tigers, and Matt Parashow, Angels. J. Bell, Pirates. Ozzie Smith, the Cardinals. Ken Hill, Expos. Dave Justice, Braves. Greg Swindell, the Astros. Bobby Jones for the Mets. Marcus Moore, Rockies. Alex Gonzalez for the Jays. Foil is Randy Curtis of the Padres. Dean Palmer for the Rangers. Ryan Klesko, Braves, and Leland Macon, Rangers. Hey, good evening, Matt. Haven't missed too much because I was having some technical difficulties tonight getting started. Jeff Montgomery, Royals. Mike Lansing for the Expos. Roger Cedeno, Dodgers. Delino DeShields, Dodgers. Kenny Felder, Brewers. Desi Relaford, Mariners. Tim Hires, Padres. Rick Aud, Pirates. The foil is a Brian Barber, the Cardinals. Derek Jeter, Yankees. So that's what his second year Bowman. But Corey Bailey for the Red Sox. Kevin Lohman for the Braves. Can't say I remember that name. Mike Stanley, Cubs. Sammy Sosa, or Yankees. Sammy Sosa, Cubs. Felix Martinez, Royals. Steve Buechele, Cubs. Reggie Sanders, Reds. Jose Valentin, Brewers. Derek Wallace, Cubs. Andahar Cedeno for the Astros. Foil is Don Mattingly. Nice. Jason Moeller for Philly. Johnny Ruffin, Reds. Ozzie Guillen, White Sox. Ryan Thompson, Mets. Al Martin, Pirates. Mark Whitten, Cardinals. Pat Borders for the Jays. Jay Powell, Orioles. Eduardo Latigua for the Dodgers. Kenny Lofton, Tigers. Indians. Jeez, Jimmy Hayes for the Orioles. Brian Edmondson for the Tigers. We got a foil, Solomon Torres, the Giants. Mark Newfield, Mariners. Curtis Shaw, Athletics. Cameron Carncross, Padres. This is the halfway pack right here. We have a Juan Guzman for the Jays. John Kruk, Philly. Brett Saberhagen for the Mets. Orestes Destrade, the Mariners. Mariners for the Florida. Geez, I can't get my teams correct tonight. Andre King, Braves. Chad Kruger for the Tigers. Mark Langston, Orioles. Angels. See, I'm screwing up tonight. Tim Van Egmond, Red Sox. Got a foil, Tyler Green for Philly. Kerry Lacey for the Rangers, and Keith Kimsley for the Tigers. I think at the conclusion of this break, I need to go to bed. I'm not doing very good tonight. Dave Fleming, Mariners. Chuck Knobloch, Twins. Mark Grace, Cubs. Charlie Huff, Marlins. Chris Bosio, Mariners. Rob Fitzpatrick, Expos. BJ Wallace, Expos. Manny Alexander, Orioles. Steve Carsey, foil for the A's. Matt Williams, Giants. Daryl Deek, the Cardinals. And Shane Bennett, Red Sox. Johnny, you said you've been in the bed early every night this week. I wish I was, but I had to go to Atlanta for meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And of course, not being glued to my computer for 3 straight days, I had a lot to do today. And didn't get it all done, so I know what I'll be doing tomorrow, unfortunately. Jose Arijo for the Reds. John Smoltz for the Braves. Rod Henderson for the Expos. Mike Devereaux, Orioles. Julio Veras for the Mets. Kevin Ory, Cubs. Alex Ochoa, Orioles. Jose Mussett, Yankees. The foil is Ryan Sandberg for the Cubs. Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners. Willie Green, Reds. Doug Glanville, Cubs. Who'd you go see last night in concert? Kevin Young, Pirates. Ryan Sandberg, Cubs. Todd Hollinsworth, Dodgers. Randy Johnson, Mariners. Mitch Williams, Astros. Tim Belcher, Tigers. Jose Fanigua, Expos. Archie Cianfranco, Padres. Foil is Frank Rodriguez for the Boston Red Sox. Mickey Tettleton, Tigers. Rod Bolton, White Sox. And Darryl Hall for the Jays. American Aquarium. Should I know who that is? Kirby Puckett, like that photo. Terry Steinbach, or Bach, A's. Eric Karros, Dodgers. Greg Olson, Braves. Cliff Floyd, Expos. Keith Garagazzo, Twins. Steve Finley, Astros. TJ Matthews for the Cardinals. Oh, there we go. That's what we're talking about. A foil Chipper Jones. Pretty sure I did not have that one. Joel Bennett, Red Sox. Miguel Jimenez for the Athletics. And a Jose Lima, Tigers. Roberto Alomar, For the Jays, Bobby Witt. For the Athletics, TJ Snow, Angels. Speaking of snow, anybody got any of that white stuff on the ground where you live? Ken Hill, Expos. Andy Larkin, Mariners, or Marlins. Jay Buhner is for the Mariners. Robert Toth, Kansas City. Terrell Lowry for Texas. Melvin Nieves is the foil for the Padres. Oscar Henriquez, Astros. Terry Farr, Pirates. Alberto Castillo for the Mets. What's the snow? Well, I guess that depends on who you ask. Darren Fletcher for the Expos. David Cohn for the Royals. Marty Cordova for the Twins. Roger Cedeno, Expos. Bobby Munoz for Philly. Ryan Hancock, Angels. Rick Green, Tigers. Marshall Bowes, Brewers. I have a Brian Anderson foil for the Angels. Adam, geez, what is that? Minershagen? Fred McGriff for the and the Tom Glavine for the Braves to finish out that pack. Johnny, all we get in the Carolinas is ice and pretty much ice is all we get. And then everybody goes crazy around here when it with the 4-letter S word shows up in the forecast. Joe Oliver, Reds. Jay Bell, Pirates. Ruben Sierra, Athletics. Brian Harvey, Marlins. Tim Belcher, Tigers. Jay Powell, Orioles. Chris Sabo, Orioles. Alex Fernandez, White Sox. I got a Mike Piazza foil for the Dodgers. Homer Bush, Padres. Otis Nixon, Red Sox. And Edgar Renteria for the Fish. TP, Terry Pendleton for the Braves. Jeff Montgomery, Royals. Dave Magadan for the Marlins. Brad Pennington, Orioles. Keith Garagazzo, Twins. Eduardo Lantigua, Dodgers. Mark Swift for the Orioles. Ricky Gutierrez, Padres. We got some Cardinals guy here. Let's see. Joe Biasuki, if I said that correct. Will Clark for the Rangers. We have Arquimedes Pozo. Probably butchered that. And a Donnie Elliott for the Padres. 4 to go, guys, and then we'll switch it up. Move to the next product. Tim Salmon, Bowman, Angels. Mike Stanley for the Yankees. Mike Bordick for the Athletics. Tony Garafanino for the Braves. Jay Buhner, Mariners. Sean Bregman for the Tigers. James Baldwin for the White Sox. Duff Brumley for Texas. We got Roberto Pettigin, Astros. Jamie Wright, Rockies. Sean Green for the Jays, and Ravello Manzillo, or something similar, for the Pirates. Yep, Jared, that is us in the South. When it snows or whatever, it is pure chaos around here. That's why I'm glad on days like that I can choose to work from home. Tom Pagnozzi, Cardinals. Ryan Thompson, Mets. Chan-Ho Park, Dodgers. Hey, look, it's the newest Hall of Fame member, Jeff Kent, Mets. Ryan Hancock, Angels. Chris Roberts for the Mets. Darryl Kyle for the Astros. Joe Perona, Tigers. Oh, we got the Derek Jeter foil. I'll have to sleeve that one. Lee Smith for the Orioles. Derek Lee for the Padres, and a Phil Stidham for the Tigers. So we got a chipper and Jeter foil. Final two. Paul Molitor for the Jays. Juan Guzman for the Jays. Carlos Pulido for the Twins. Gary Sheffield, Marlins. Bobby Alaya, Mariners. Ray Langford, Cardinals. Clint Davis, Cardinals. Ray McDavid, Padres. Brian Link for the Orioles. Billy Wagner, Astros. Rod Beck, Giants, and Kurt Manwaring for the Giants. Final pack, guys. Jeremy Burnitz for the Mets. John Wetland, Expos. Steve Traxel, Cubs. Carlos Garcia, Pirates. JJ Thobe, Expos. Curtis Goodwin, Orioles. Ray Holbert, Padres. Rick Helling, Rangers. Tim Clark is the foil for the Marlins. Scott Sullivan, Reds. Phil Geisler, Padres, or Philly, and Royce Clayton for the Giants. So this is definitely one of those sets that was better in my memories I think, than practical. But hopefully you got some base cards, maybe some rookies of some players you wanted for your team, and maybe got lucky with your alternate team. The foils are interesting. So like the for the prospects, the stadium that's etched in the background, which looks pretty cool. It's just you don't get the whole stadium. It's not centered. Um, or if you do get the whole stadium, it's definitely not centered in the photo. And then for, I'm guessing these are, I don't know if what these are called with the diamond and the bats, but again, you don't, it's not centered and it cuts off the bat on one side and it just doesn't look as nice. And then on these prospect cards, you've got the team logo behind them. But again, these don't look as bad. It looks like it was purposely off centered, but I don't know. I mean, there's the chipper. You can see the Braves logo. So, not horrible. But we did get a Jeter as well. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So switch my old sign up list here. This is Summit. All right. Score Summit 1995. I was trying to think the other day how many years this went on. Was it a one and done or was it a 2-year thing? I'm drawing a blank. I love this set. I think it's pretty nice. I like the thick card stock, the white, the gold. I think it's a very attractive looking, I wouldn't call it super premium, but it definitely was a step up from Score. So I guess this would be like Score's version of, I don't know, maybe Stadium Club or something. Photos aren't quite as good as Stadium Club, but pretty cool set. There are 3 inserts and a parallel to chase. The nth degree is a very cool rainbow sparkly foil. Very cool looking, in my opinion, parallels. And then we have New Age based on young and upcoming players. I think 21 Club is the same, or maybe that, yeah, 21 Club is the one based on them. Big Bang is obviously home run hitters. So give me a second. Slide my jacket off. It's warmer in my office than it is downstairs. Again, 24 packs per box. And again, you know it's a little more premium when they fan the packs out like this in the box. And these are a thicker cardstock, so there's not as many cards per pack, but it does not say. Let's see. Missed the days when the odds were placed on the back of the packs. So the nth degree parallels, it's a full 200 card parallel set, 1 in 4. New Age, 15 cards, 1 in 18 packs. 21 Club is a 9 card insert set at 1 in 36. And Big Bang 20 cards, 1 in 72. And be strong, don't do drugs. I like these foil packs because you can ball them up. I like that. I'm not hard to please. All right, if you're not familiar with the set, here you go. Very basic design, thicker cardstock, white cardstock, glossy. There was a problem with the gold logos. There are several uncorrected errors in this set, so you know, it is what it is. But so it's not like a traded thing or whatever. It's they just flat out put the wrong team stamp on some of the cards. So, but like I said, as I mentioned, it is a slightly thicker cardstock. And then the backs, no bio or any kind of statistics on the or biographical information for the players, but you do get some unique stats on the back. So that is Ray Langford for the Cardinals. And then here is an Allen Battle for the Cardinals. Don Mattingly, Yankees. We got an insert right off the bat, so I'm going to slide that around to the back, guys. Kirby Puckett, one of the bat speed, one of the subsets. J. Bell, Pirates. Another subset, Special Delivery, Greg Maddux. There's that Mattingly again. And our new age is Frank Rodriguez for the Red Sox. So not quite the name I was hoping that we'd pull, but new age Frank. And what did we say those new age were? 1 in 18. So maybe we'll see another one tonight. Next up, we got Dennis Eckersley for the A's. Armando Benitez, something like that, for the Orioles. Derek Bell for the Astros. Brad Klontz for the Braves, and you can see here's one of the screw-ups. They put the wrong A. Orlando Miller, Astros. Sammy Sosa, Cubs. And a checklist that will go to the Mariners. Ray Holbert for the Padres. Joey Hamilton, Padres. Garrett Anderson, Angels. And we got our first parallel. It is Carlos Baerga for the Indians. And yes, I think putting together a set of these would be that would be fun. Difficult but fun. And it's hard to tell, but there is slight silver stamp nth degree there on the back. So there is our first parallel. Dave Winfield for the Indians, Charles Johnson for the Marlins, and David Cone for the Jays. Juan Gonzalez for the Rangers, John Valentine, Red Sox, Rafael Palmeiro for the Orioles, Shannon Penn for the Tigers, but it has a Cubs logo. Darrell Hamilton for the Brewers. And we got looks like a Mo Vaughn and a Matt Williams on the Chase program checklist. And an Omar Vizquel for the Indians. Y'all probably noticed I did not grab a team, or I did not grab the Braves in this since I have the whole set already. But since we had one slot not taken, I went ahead and took the Angels. Excuse me. Hoping for maybe a Tim Hudson parallel, Tim Salmon parallel. Darren Dalton for Philly. Joe Vitatello, I think that's how you pronounce it, for the Royals. Will Clark for the Rangers. Alex Gonzalez for the Jays. There's a Griffey bat speed. Greg Vaughn for Brewers. And a Barry Bonds bat speed. Roberto Alomar, Jays. We got a Barry Bonds checklist. Wade Boggs for the Yankees. Julio Veras, Marlins. Rudy Pemberton for the Tigers, but has a Dodgers screw-up logo. Deion Sanders for the Reds. Roberto Pettigin, Padres. Jose Canseco, bat speed, Red Sox. Move on, Red Sox. Roger Clemens, special delivery, Red Sox. And a nth degree, it is a Randy Johnson. For the Mariners. Now we got Jose Canseco's base card for the Red Sox. Got a Brett Saberhagen for the Mets and a John Olerud for the Jays. Checklist. Kyle Ripken. Kenny Lofton for the Indians. Jose Parra for the Dodgers. James Mouton, Astros. Tom Glavine, Braves. Benji Gill for the Rangers. And a Carlos Delgado for the Jays. Mr. Kirby Puckett. Steve Rodriguez for the Red Sox, but oh my gosh, look at that. They put a Yankees on there. Boy, I wonder how many Red Sox fans did that piss off. Moises Alou, Expos. Joe Rosselli for the Giants. There's an Albert Bell bat speed for the Indians. Frank Thomas for the White Sox, and a special delivery Moose for the Orioles. Shane Andrews, Expos. Larry Walker for the Rockies. There's a Big Hurt checklist. And another nth degree. This time it is Mr. Mo Vaughn of the Red Sox. Man, it would have been nice if it was Griffey, though. Terry Bradshaw, not for the Steelers, but for the Cardinals, but it has a wrong logo, as the Brewers. And a Tony Gwynn for the Padres. Is it just me, or does Tony Gwynn not get enough hobby love? I absolutely loved watching him play. Didn't get to see a lot of them since he was on the West Coast, but loved watching him play. His patience at the plate was just astonishing. Matt Williams, bat speed for the Giants. Joe Carter for the Jays. Frank Rodriguez, Red Sox. There's Mr. Cal Ripken base card. Randy Johnson for the Mariners again. Tim Naring for the Red Sox. And Craig Biggio for the Astros. Vaughn Eshelman for the Red Sox. We got a Mark McGwire for the A's. Scott Ruffcorn for the White Sox. Gary Sheffield, Marlins. Roger Cedeno, Dodgers. Andy Benez, Padres. And an Eddie Murray for the Indians. All right, we are halfway through this box. Got 3 parallels and an insert thus far. Next up, we got Dean Palmer for the Rangers. Dustin Hermanson, Padres. Mike Piazza for the Dodgers. Esteban Loaiza for the Pirates. Hideo Nomo for the Dodgers. Rico Brogna for the Mets. And John Nunali, I don't know how to pronounce that, for the Royals. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard himself. We got a Ray Durham for the White Sox. Barry Larkin for the Reds. We got a Joe Carter nth degree parallel for the Jays. And looks like Andrew, who had the Yankees, ended up with the Blue Jays. Carlos Baerga, can't talk. Indians, Eduardo Alfonso for the Mets, and a Lenny Dykstra for Philly. Carlos Perez, Expos. Mark Grace, Cubs. Jose Oliva for the Braves. Andres Galarraga for the Rockies. Jason Bear for the White Sox. David Bell for the Cardinals. And Ryan for the Indians, Ryan Klesko for the Braves. All right. Mr. Martin told me he grabbed the Braves since I wasn't, hoping to get a McGriff, and we at least got you a base McGriff there. Alex Ochoa for the Orioles. Ken Hill, Cardinals. Tim Belk, Reds. Tim Monroe, Brewers. Willie Green, Reds. And Ricky Otero for the Mets. Scott Ruffcorn, White Sox. Gary Sheffield for the Marlins. There's another checklist for Cal. Lofton for the Indians. Cliff Floyd For the Expos, Jeff Bagwell, bat speed. For the Astros, and a Cecil Fielder for the Tigers. Movon. Red Sox, Roger Clemens, special delivery, Dennis Eckersley, Armando Benitez, Juan Acevedo, another Griffey base, and a Terry Bradshaw. Starting to get into a few parallel or duplicates here. Ray Holbert, San Diego. Same thing for Joey Hamilton. There's a Garrett Anderson, the Angels. Dean Palmer for the Rangers. Another Ryan Klesko, Braves. James Baldwin, White Sox. Ben McDonald, Orioles. So we should get a 21 club. Well, I don't know. That's right. There's 24 packs. 21 club or 1 in 36. Got a couple packs left. Maybe we'll defy the odds here tonight. Dante Bichette for the Rocks. We have Midre Cummins for the Pirates. Steve Carsey for the A's. Hal Morris for the Reds. Another James Baldwin. Another Ben McDonald. And Antonio Osuna, Dodgers, but it has a Tigers logo. I guess Pinnacle was like, nah, we made too many mistakes to fix, so just pack them out. Checklist with Jeff Bagwell. Got to roll Mondesi for the Dodgers. Scott Sullivan, Reds. And another nth degree parallel. This time it is Paul O'Neill of the Yankees. Chili Davis, Angels. Chipper Jones, Braves. Jeff Conan, Marlins. Billy Ashley for the Dodgers. Brian Anderson, Angels. Edgar Martinez, Mariners. Ruben Sierra, that's a cool card. Barry Bonds for the Giants. Todd Steverson for the Tigers. Albert Bell. All right, 2 to go, guys. Bat speed, Mike Piazza of the Dodgers. Greg Jeffries for Philly. Tony Gwynn, bat speed for the Padres. Chuck Knobloch. Jeff McCurry, Pirates. Roger Clemens for the Red Sox, and a Mike Piazza checklist. And the final pack, will we have any last pack magic? We'll see. Cool. Jeffrey Hammonds, Orioles. Michael Tucker for the Royals. Will Cordero, Expos. Curtis Goodwin for the Orioles. Jeff Cirillo, Brewers. J.R. Phillips for the Giants. And our final card is a Kirk Gibson for the Tigers. So did not beat the odds on the insert game. Really just the one insert, the New Age Frank Rodriguez. Red Sox goes to Jared, who had the Red Sox assigned to his Reds. But at least we got some good, at least in my opinion, nth degree parallels. We got Paul O'Neill. We got a Joe Carter. Got to move on. A Randy Johnson and a Byerga. So there we go, guys. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for hanging around. Man, just went over the hour mark. I will get these cards sleeved. I will get them added to the queue of stuff I need to still sort. We are coming up, guys, on the end of the break year for me here at Affordable Group Breaks. One more break before the holidays arrive, and let me grab it real quick. So we're going to switch gears, switch over to football, and I showed this last week. We are going to do these 2 boxes of 2024 Topps Resurgence football. I'm looking forward to this. I think I have a base card or 2, but nothing crazy. And we got a shot at some pretty good rookie class. So this is what we got on tap for next week. Signups will go up probably Tuesday night now that I'm kind of not traveling. And we will see what our luck is with this. And then we'll see what happens after that in the new year. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off just to recharge my batteries. And then I also have to go and replenish the inventory. So this is the last thing that I have, but maybe I'll find some deals on some new stuff coming out or some other stuff that I can come across. But thanks again for hanging out tonight. Thanks again for supporting this week's a little longer Affordable Group Break. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you back here one final time for 2025 next Friday night. Till then, y'all have a good one. Take care.